in the Bible. He is able to make me stand. Yep.
Yep.
If this helps, I want you to do it. So
Yeah, I just don't we'll just say here's Michael and here's Mark having a conversation about, what the history of all this is and why we just don't understand why nobody seems to get the importance of, the things that happened on January 6th and leading up to that we have caught and we've captured, and nobody seems to care about it.
but we do care. It's just where are we in all this, and see, one of the things that I see understanding is they like to deflect. They like to point that laser pointer, and the whole mob starts staring at LA and the riots going on in LA while other shit's happening under the. You know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying, and it's why I'm trying to be. I'm 3 years deep here on trying to be laser focused into letting people understand this isn't just me going out in the field. It was me beginning with researching how the Proud Boys started to
Yeah.
protect my family and to understand what was this psychology going on in America where we had two groups of people going out in cities combating one another over what over I was having a hard time understanding why my kids could be walking down the street and somebody know that their last name what it is.
Yep.
And you know I didn't want to allow that to go uninvestigated as to who the people were that were going to be attacking my family in the future. And actually, Michael, what I found was on Truth Social, the final diversion in this whole apocalyptic thing that we have going on here, right, is the deception, the final deception, right? The abomination of desolation,
Okay.
to be honest, right?
Yeah.
And what is that? What is that? What are we expecting to see in that moment? And one of the things that leads up to this is the final deception is, to me, right, that it is the Jews who call themselves the Jews but are not. Well, who are they?
Who are they?
Who are they? Well, we know who they are, but we're just unwilling to accept it. And that is that from the beginning of time, the fallen, right?
Yeah.
Cain's bloodline have
Yeah.
been mimicking the two Enochs. There's two Enochs. There's two Lamechs, right? It's
Okay.
been a constant mimicking of what is really God's chosen, which is Adam, right? Adam.
God's chosen. Oh yeah. I know. I trust me. I've been studying some of the classic literature, and I think I've told you that, and I've suggested a few things to read. So, but go ahead.
So, you know, the final deception here is I've been watching it play out and it's driving me insane because and I wouldn't I say it's driving me insane, but I'm so neutral to all of it because of how sort of rough it's been from a long time ago, right? That when I look at it and when I first came to this and I worried about, somebody seeing my last name and making a false attack because I'm for Christ. And
Wait. Now, let me get this straight. You're a Christian.
I believe the
You're a
Messiah.
Reformed Jewish Christian.
I believe the Messiah. I'm Jewish, period, right?
Okay.
I'm
All right.
born I'm born Jewish. My ancestry is Jewish,
Yeah, but
right?
aren't there Jewish people that accepted
Yeah,
Christ as the Messiah?
yes. So
Yes.
they call them Messianic Jews. I
Okay.
I don't take that name. I don't I don't put myself with them.
Okay. I don't believe in labels either.
I consider myself a believer, a Christian who, so let me take you through back into the story, because it's gonna gel things for you once you understand the whole story.
And let me be patient, and I pray for God's patience, because there's a purpose in this right now. So I
Yep.
know there is.
So you ready?
Yes.
So I wound up going to this Stop the Steal. I didn't know it was going on at the time. I took this guy who was on Medicare. He wasn't a healthy guy. This guy MAGA King, who was also named Michael.
Oh,
His yeah,
yeah, that's my name, Michael
and
Napoleon. I don't care. I'm a Dago
yeah,
and I'm second generation Italian. So there you go.
and so is he. So is he.
Oh shit.
So
Okay.
we drive his truck down there. We park at Reagan, and we take an Uber, and we're fully geared up, get dropped off in town, and we are the only ones masked up, geared up, pole flag, and the locals are just triggered by us, right?
Okay.
Well,
I'm
we
listening.
we go to the Capitol, and we didn't know this was going on. Figured we knew other people were going to be interested enough to be there, but we wanted to be a part of it. What we found there was about 200 to 400 people circling counterclockwise the Capitol 7 times, calling themselves Stop the Steal. Um, um, they're all befriending us, and I'm trying to explain to them, cover up your faces. The brown shirts are encircling us on bikes, taking photos of you to dox you. Do not let them get a picture of you, right? So the two of us are trying to explain it to them, because we understand it, and these are all just normie big MAGA people,
Yeah,
right?
like me. I'm a normie MAGA person. That's
Right?
what I think. So yeah.
And 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 there were literally, like, the Koreans were the most prevalent among them besides regular white people. It was groups of Koreans who came on a bus, like really, really patriots. They were amazing. So anyway, so I wind up 3 times walking around, and me and Mike decide to leave, go to where it was going to end up at the Washington Monument.
Right.
So we start walking there, and I meet a guy along the way, and his wife and his child, named Paul Russell Johnson. Write it down if you have a pen.
Oh no, I'm outside having a smoke. So
He's
go ahead.
he's one of the Samsel 7.
You can send me a copy of this, can't you?
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
He's one of the Samsel 7.
Okay.
You know who the Samsel 7 is?
No, tell me, and I'll look it up. So
Samsel 7 is that first line who broke the barrier with the cops were standing, and the female officer went down, and the big Ophi guy that they say is the FBI agent who
yeah, name
started
him.
the whole thing.
Yeah, name him, and I'll remember the name.
Yeah, I forget his name.
I forget his name, but he's from Nebraska, and he ain't
Yes.
nobody. Yes.
And he's a nobody,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You know how
Whisper. Yes.
I know?
I,
Because I seen him the night before at the rally the night before on January 5th, and I saw him in the crowd there, but guess what? No one in all of the people I know in the Proud Boys knew him.
okay.
And yet I know 2 of the people in the Samsel 7. What? How is that possible? One of them is my ride or die, Paul Russell Johnson, who I just told you about.
Right.
So here, I'm going to make a really long story short to sum it up for you. Okay. I went 4 times to DC. The only one I went all 4 times with including January 6th, staying at the same hotel, the video of the hotel you see with everybody going crazy,
Yeah.
that's Paul Russell Johnson that's with me.
Ah.
That's the other voice that's there.
All right.
When after January 6th, we went basically into hiding for 6 months. And 3 months in, I get a call from Paul Russell Johnson that his house has been raided.
Oh, shit.
He recorded the whole thing. I had the recordings. We posted them up on TikTok. It went viral. Suddenly, I'm on the phone with him and I say, Paul, they are listening to us right now. I want you to know, if they don't take that ankle bracelet off you and take you off of house arrest, the first time they bring you into court, I'm going to show up and I'm going to blow this whole thing up with what I got.
Okay.
In 3 days, he was off house arrest and the bracelet was gone. And he found Jesus.
There's no quinky dink there, is there? How is it? They were listening.
Guess what? Also, I found Jesus the week of January 6th. 2 weeks before, he told me to read Genesis and then read Enoch. And he showed me two very distinct things. He showed me that, and you have to understand, I had never read the Bible before, really. You know, I had skimmed in parts of it just to see something, but I had never really read it as a Jew, as a Christian, whatever, right?
Yeah.
He showed me in an instant that two people were treated differently than all the other people in the Bible.
Right.
And
that happens a lot. You know that, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And I grew up believing that one day I was looking for Enoch not Enoch, that I was looking for Elijah to walk in the door, right?
Yeah.
We at my holidays, my grandma would leave the door open waiting for him to come, right? So that's what I knew,
Yeah.
right? Well, then I saw that God treated Elijah and Enoch differently than everybody else. They were taken. That was what I saw, right?
Yeah.
And then secondly, this is as a non-Bible reader with nobody helping me, and in an instant, right?
This is awesome.
And then for whatever reason, the next book he made me read was Enoch. And Enoch, when I read it, I saw some things that were just crazy. As I'm reading it, I saw the vision of a place I've been as he's talking about Eden, right? And God's throne. And all of a sudden, it all clicks for me that we are the mirror vision of Israel. We are the mirror vision.
Okay, I'm with you. I'm with you so far.
Okay.
I'm right there.
And I can get into the details of that, but I want to come back into the earthly world here and where it led, right? So then I went to January 6th and was almost killed. After I was almost killed, well, there's more here. So Paul Russell Johnson, his wife, another couple, and me were at the rally. We were having an amazing time. We left an hour before he ended in order to go to the Capitol. When we left, Paul and his wife and the other couple went directly there, and I told them, no, I must go back and get my gear, because I wouldn't take my gear into the rally because they were checking. And not that I had a weapon, I had defense.
Okay, I understand.
You know what I mean?
We almost went, so.
Yep. So I had a vest.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So So I'm not getting shot, and I know that shit's gonna go down, right? Because of what I've been watching all along. And so, because I know that they want it, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm 20 minutes behind them. He's in that first breach and gets arrested and put up for 20 years for that moment. I miss it by the 20 minutes, follow up behind him, come in, go to the front of the line underneath that tower,
Right.
to the right of the tower, and all of a sudden, where there's a line with the police, they're gassing us, they're shooting those things at us and leaving welts on people. There are Christian old people, and realize I'm not a Christian at the moment, walking around, huddling together, praying, waiting for Jesus to come. It was the most surreal thing, right? All of a sudden, everybody's pointing to the ground near me, and I look down and there's a gun on the ground.
Oh, fuck.
And everybody's pointing to it, and all of a sudden a little cop, smaller than me, jumps the police line, jumps down on the ground onto the gun, and we're all lifting him back up. The police think we're attacking him, jump the line, break through, grab him, pull him back, and within 5 to 10 minutes, retreat. They ran right after they got the gun. They ran, and you know why they ran?
No,
That gun was never found. You know why?
it was planted.
It was the FBI.
They were planted to begin with.
It was an undercover cop's gun that fell out, and it's the proof. It is the proof that they were there setting it up.
Yeah, how many
Where's
were
the gun?
planted in the crowd? How many were in that crowd?
Who did not? There were almost 2 million at the rally. I would say that there were 250,000 on the grounds when this is going on.
And how many you think FBI were planted in the crowd?
Oh, a lot.
A lot, yeah. That has to be infiltrating
we're talking
the whole thing. Right.
We're talking 50, 80, easy, right?
Okay.
So now look at this, and that's besides informants, because that's the real deal that I'm coming to for you, because they admitted it to me. The president of the Proud Boys, New Jersey, admitted it to me, and he was my boy. So here's where it goes. After the gun was found, they all flee into this little door, and I record the whole thing, not the gun. I didn't have my phone on for the gun, but record them all going in this little door in the bottom, and we all climb up the scaffolding and go up onto the backside of the Capitol. That they lost control completely, right? And so I alone go underneath. They have these like at a football game, the seating, up on the top level,
the stadium seating with nosebleed section,
for looking down when the president was going to get inaugurated, right?
Yeah.
The police are all standing up on top of it, and I break in underneath it, right? There was they had the green, it was black, but nylon cloth that you could see through, that they string up on it so you don't go through.
Yeah.
I opened it up, snuck underneath, right? And it was all like going through a maze, because you're in scaffolding, right? Underneath this big structure.
Okay.
And I go right up. I'm literally 15 feet from the doors of the Capitol to the back. And there's a couple of cops between, and one other guy came in with me, but he's all the way on the other side. All of a sudden, I see them take out a canister a silver canister like the size of your torso, right? Like small,
Wow.
thinner, but
Yeah.
the length of,
Yep.
and a thing, shoot a foam right on him, and he collapses. I look back at him and I go, "You need my help. You need my help." And all of a sudden, boom, I'm hit. And I'm all the way as deep as you can be in it. I can't move. I'm in excruciating pain, can't breathe, think I'm going to die. This goes on for 15 minutes. And then two guys from Alabama, Dan and Dan, come. We're finally under there. They come, they say, "Do you need help?" I said, "Absolutely. Can you get me out of here?" And they start pouring water over my head with a jug of water. And then they carry me out, underneath each arm through the scaffolding. And then they pull me out onto those big white steps that they had out back there.
Yeah.
And there was a whole team of people with milk and magnesia and everything. And everybody was, helping clear my breathing.
Right.
As soon as I get half a wit back at me, I open up my backpack, take my phone out of my Faraday bag, turn it on, and my wife rings. My wife goes, "Get out of there now. The paddy wagons are there." I'm like, "Okay." I go to try and get out. There's too many people coming in. You can't get out. So I'm up top, and you have to go back to the scaffolding to get out. And the pathway narrows, and then there was this how like when you're at a hotel and they bring the thing down the hall that keeps all the towels in it.
Yeah, the little
big
maid cart.
Yeah, but it's in a big hotel. It's a big plastic thing
Yeah.
of dirty towels and
Yeah.
sheets and
Yeah.
stuff,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, the big bin. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's that thing in the way, so nobody could get through. And there were people on top of it, and everybody was just jammed. It was mobbed, shoulder to shoulder. Finally, after like 10 minutes of waiting, I'm like, "That's it. I'm going." And I pushed my way through, and I get to the thing. There's some guy on it. I say, get off of there. I'm leaving. Get off of there, because I'm getting out of here. I jump up on there. I look down. There's an elderly lady right underneath me, looking just like she wants out. I look at her and I say, "Do you need my help?" She goes, "Yes." I lift her up onto the thing, carry her down the other side. We walk out together. She was a 70. How old was she? She was 70. I mean, it was crazy. It was like 76. And she decided to come. She was from, she owned a mountain, a quarry in Tennessee.
Oh, nice.
And she's that old, and she couldn't take it. She had to be there. And
Right.
Unbelievable. So,
That's a story in and of itself.
So here's the thing, right? We go back to the hotel afterwards. Paul finally meets me back there, because I didn't see Paul the whole time after that. And
Johnson, right?
yep, he
Yep.
shows me the videos of him in the Capitol, and I have videos of me videoing him in the Capitol, in the elevator going up to the room. We go up to the room, we come back down. I'm outside having a smoke with, do you know who Millennial Millie Weaver is?
That name I've heard of, yes.
She was best friends at the time with Tori Maris.
Okay. Tori.
You know Tori? That's
No.
that's the best researcher we have, honestly.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll look into her.
Yep. Well, she was outside with me and we were talking and I didn't know who she was really. I knew her among, that she was reporting there, but she was nobody famous yet, right? And and all of a sudden the police roll up with paddy wagons, line up 40 guys and push us inside, say if we don't go inside we're arrested. And then the the manager of the hotel was prepared with a speech from the Mayor Muriel Bowser, to quell us from being excited and trashing the hotel in order to get not be held captive. They held us captive in that hotel overnight. At if we were to come out, we were to be arrested. Wait a second. We're visiting your city. We're paying money to be in your hotel, and we can't be out front past 7 o'clock? Because why? Explain that. That's treason.
That's kidnapping.
Yes. That's treason by our government.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Especially
Right?
especially if it was a government official making that proclamation.
Muriel
Right?
Bowser.
Yeah.
And
The mayor
the
of
the
DC,
poli-
right?
and the police of DC are traitors. They should not follow an order if it's against the people. We were there protesting.
One
Period.
second, my bride's here. What, babe? 10 minutes. Breakfast is ready. Breakfast is ready in 10 minutes.
All right. I got to go soon too.
No, it's okay. No, we got to do this again. So this is like me interviewing you, and you're just giving me that interview right now. This is awesome. Go ahead, continue going.
So I'm gonna cut the whole January 6th short, and I'm gonna say in 2 weeks after, I had been exploring whether I could become a religion. I didn't know what religion to become.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Go ahead.
And so I was figuring I was going to walk into a temple in my area and go listen first, right? And then if I wanted to, I could go to a church and go listen to them,
Right. Right.
And I have this little church around the corner from me that does a food bank every 2 weeks. And every time I go and give them food, I wind up getting more food than I gave them. They just want to give it away, right?
Right.
And so it was a really nice thing. So I said, you know what? They're nice. They're obviously nice people. They don't have a big church. They I could tell. Let me go see what it's about. I go in there on a Sunday, 2 weeks after January 6th, and they welcome me. I explained them my situation, and they were like amazed with me, and I couldn't fathom why they were so interested in a Jewish man walking in and being interested. Right? I couldn't fathom it because I didn't.
Had a hard time with them accepting you into their crowd.
Well, I would say this. I would say I didn't understand how important it is to their story that the Jews come. That's the last thing to happen. Right? So
but see,
save Israel for last. What does it mean?
I know, and that's the thing that I can't understand. And my father tells me the Jewish people are the mirror of all of us. They're the history. That Old Testament is your history for everybody, the Gentiles, the Muslims, everybody.
If you're Christian, you're a Jew.
Right. You can't get away from that. We're the children of all these people.
That brings us back to where we started and what the final deception is. They're only going after the Jewish people because they're going after you.
Yeah, they're going after all of us. And maybe that is so fundamental to me that it blows over my head.
That,
Does that make sense?
yes.
Because it's something that is ingrained in
And
me.
and
I've
and
been
that's
surrounded by Jewish people that have helped me in my life, uh, and that I love these people. They've never done anything against me, even in their belief. That they're
now
the Jewish,
Kabbalah, now
huh?
Kabbalah, that's different.
Well, I
Kabbalah.
don't know. All I know is what I've experienced in my
So
life.
I've
Does
done
that make
some,
sense?
yeah, I've done
Okay.
some heavy research. And I hate to say it, Mike, because it sounds like a know-it-all, but I figured it out. And here's what the key differences are. I'm a developer in the data space, for one. And secondly is I have no pre-existing concept of what it means to be religious. You get me?
Oh yeah,
I
because that's
never
how we
got
started this conversation.
I never got indoctrinated. You know what I
You're
mean?
not a practicing Jew nor a practicing Christian. You're just a believer.
I'm
Is
just a
that
believer.
that's
My whole life, but I didn't know it. And we'll get to that some other time, but I want to make an important point here about, how we connect God to the reality of what's going on here, right? Is that so? I'm going to take you back. So now I'm a believer, right? Now I'm going to church every Sunday. Oh, I didn't tell you. I go in there and the music starts playing. I'm sitting in the back and I'm start bawling. I s- and I'm like, what the heck is now? I don't cry. I do not cry. I'm like against crying,
me too?
especially
Okay.
in public.
Right.
So now here I am bawling my eyes out, like fluid, like literally just right.
I understand it.
And and the music ends, and you know uh, the pastor's wife gets up and to speak and talking about the things for the week suddenly, and she goes, and we want to welcome our new our guests here, and points to me, and I'm like a mess, and I'm like huh.
That's a good place to be. You know
you know
that, Mark. That's
so
a good place to be.
but I am appalled. You know what I mean? I'm appalled, and and so I listen to the whole sermon, and I'm all choked up, and I leave. Right? I go home to my wife, and I go, "Honey, you have no idea what the freak happened to me there. I can't explain what happened, but I think I need you to come with me next week." So she's a Catholic, and,
Oh,
and
oh wow. You never told me that.
yeah,
Oh
and,
wow.
so grew up Catholic with her. I mean, her grandmother went to church every day to Saint Mary's in Bensonhurst.
Right.
Her grandfather was in the boys there. I mean, they're old school, like separation. Wife goes to St. Mary's every day. Husband goes to the club. Do you see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh
And
yeah. I know the people.
and
Oh, Mama.
Fresh squeezed.
Oh, fresh
Thank you
squeeze.
very much.
Thank you, honey. Go ahead.
nice.
She brought
And
me breakfast.
so what happens is she comes the next week.
Hmm.
The both of us now are bawling and not understanding it. And we go home and we're like, what is happening?
Now,
Um,
let me ask, I
so
got to ask this question.
yeah,
This church, non denominational?
it is not, it is a, so we left it for the craziest of reasons. It's got a whole story within itself. It has to
That's okay.
do, um,
Was it a non denominational church, though? Did they claim?
no, it was non-denominational,
Okay.
but it was Baptist in nature,
Okay. Yeah, I understand.
and they were somewhat charismatic. Somewhat.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh no, I've been to the Catholic Church. In fact, being Italian, I was baptized Catholic as a baby. I didn't have a choice in the matter. And then I've been to Pentecostal churches, Lutheran churches.
That's what they call themselves, Pentecostal. But
Oh, I love that. That's where the Holy Spirit flows, buddy.
yeah,
You
whole
can't deny the Holy Spirit. And that's
no,
what happened to you.
and
I've been filled with that Spirit. Hold on, man. And I'll never deny it. Where I dropped to my face right there in front of that pulpit, not on my knees, on my whole body down on the ground. When that Holy Spirit fills you, man, there's no denying it. And you know that's a fact. And that's what happened to you.
I agree. But you know what the problem with it is?
What?
They love to hijack it.
Okay, here's what the problem I had with the Pentecostal church.
They hijack it.
Nope, let me tell you. They have their own man-made written doctrines they can't follow themselves. And when that happens, when they're pushing that, when those elders in the church, you know, the guys with all the money are telling that man up there in the pulpit how to talk to everybody, that's a problem. Because he's the shepherd. Period.
The second church we went to was more charismatic and bigger, right?
Yeah.
We ran. We went for a year, and then 3 weeks in a row, something happened. And on the third week, this is me. If it happens 3 times, I'm done.
Yeah.
And it happened. And so let me get back to the other thing.
Yeah,
though.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. So now I'm a Christian,
Right.
going every week, enjoying discovering that, and go into hiding in my personal life in order to make sure, because everyone's getting raided. And here I am, leader of the Proud Boys in the area. I went to January 6th. I'm on Bank of America with all my payments in Washington, D.C. I'm figuring they're definitely coming, right? They raided little old ladies who were next door to me, but not on the Capitol grounds. And they never came to my house. So they came to Paul's, they raid him. We get it all on camera. They bury the whole thing after I threaten them that I'm going to show up. They made everything disappear online, all gone. My TikTok gone, right? And suddenly, Paul Russell Johnson is a Jesus believer, and the church is helping him to fight his battle. And he doesn't need me right now. And I'm saying to him, Paul, you're my ride or die here in this whole thing. You've been with me at every single time. He's from Virginia. No, I have no relationship with him outside of that. But I know his wife and I know his kid. Right?
Right. I'm with you.
He says he's backing away from it all and he's going to Christ, and he starts speaking to me less and less. 6 months goes, and all of a sudden, nothing. And 6 months later, I call him up. He doesn't know who's calling him on his phone. He only picked up because he didn't know who was calling him. Right?
Yeah, I'm with you.
And I say to
taking a bite.
I say to him, Paul, I'm going to ask you one question. Just answer it, and then we're going to hang up. Just answer it honestly. Paul, are you on an NDA? And he goes, yes. I said, enough said, and I hung up the phone. I said, I got you in the end of this. And I hung up the phone. And I haven't spoken to him since. And guess what happens in the fall of this year?
You mean the past year?
Yeah, before the election.
Yeah. What happens?
Every single January 6er gets settled.
Oh, it's all settled out. Yeah.
Meaning Before they got pardoned, all of their charges finally got settled after 5 years. And guess what they came up with? Ryan Samsel, 20 years. The other 5 guys, no one got under 5 years. Guess what Paul Russell Johnson got?
Nothing.
6 months probation.
What about the others?
All 5 years plus.
They got it and have to do it out.
So now
because Paul made a deal.
Paul made a deal.
Yeah.
So guess what else? Now they think I'm on the phone with one of the other guys that claims to be the Proud Boy president from Philadelphia. No, he was never the Proud Boys president from Philadelphia. I knew the Proud Boys president from Philadelphia. It's a lie. I get this guy on this very thing, just like you, but not recording a week ago, thinking that I get him. I'm saying, dude, I'm going to stop everything that's happening to all of you, right? He's with Enrique Tarrio, right? So here's the deal. Enrique Tarrio is running them for the FBI for 15 years.
So Enrique, am I understanding this right? He sold out?
So listen, every time we went to DC, the 2 times I went as a Proud Boy,
Yeah.
I went in 2 times in December, right? Once in the very beginning, once at the end. In the 2019th or whatever it was. And so what I found was that so a guy by the name of Pacesetter was our president. He was ruling New Jersey, sort of New York. New York didn't really exist. PA and Ohio. Guys, we all went together, 200 men every time, right? About 60 from New Jersey, right?
Right. I'm listening.
And so these 2 presidents did not speak to each other, and we did not mix at the rallies there. We stayed at the same hotel, except our guys did not mix with their guys. Why? 2 different FBI crews. They couldn't let each other. They knew that each side knew the other side had the FBI in it, but were claiming that they didn't have the FBI in it themselves. They all did, because if you know the story of how this all started.
Wow.
Yes.
This is blowing my mind. These guys are so infiltrated. They don't even know how far they're fucking, excuse my language, they don't know how far they're effing infiltrated into this group.
And Enrique Tarrio doesn't even probably know that he is like the shilliest of shills. He probably thinks he's a hero.
Yeah, well, that's the way his persona came through to everybody, including me.
No. These are the evil people.
So what's the end game?
So the end game is expose them all.
Yes, but what is their end game? What is the point of everything they're doing to suppress the whole thing? But it's not working.
Well, how do you feel about Mike Flynn?
Well, I just posted a thing about Michael Flynn just now.
What'd you say?
Oh, what I did is I posted his video that I just pulled down back up about the whole Israeli conflict and how beautiful the Jews put this off. You'll see it. It's on Truth Social. Just look. I put it up there. I was surprised you didn't make a point of it. But how Israel is defending against Iran. This is a whole new bullshit fucking thing. It's another laser pointer. I don't know how to feel about Israel. I mean, I stand with the Jewish people in Israel because my father tells me that I need to stand with my Jewish brother. That's, you know, this, if you understand.
I know.
Uh,
I think of how hard a time I have because I do not believe in the state of Israel. I
It's a
believe in the
politics, right?
people.
The money. It's all about the money. The money is the lead of all of this. The pursuit of it. It's a tool for me. It's
They
not
want so here's what the problem
power, control. Yeah, I'm
here's
sorry.
what the greater problem is, Mike. No, and I'm sorry I'm cutting you off, and it's because I have something important to tell you.
Yeah, tell me.
Is if you watch my show 66 AD and the Final Deception, it it explains what's going on here. And it's that they want us in a perpetual state of killing one another to keep us from the Holy Spirit. It's the thing that keeps us away. If we continuously hate on one another because somebody is the enemy, then they've won. It's that simple. All they have to do is keep us in this state of fear, and we're perpetually trapped here. So,
Yes. And for the masses, it's working.
yes. So even this whole thing with the Mexicans, right?
Right.
Like they are not the evil people. We're
No.
taking out the wrong people.
Yeah, it's all played up, and I believe that it's all a what do you call that? What's the word I'm looking for? It's all to distract. It's all to distract what the focus is, to love one another. That was Jesus's message, the bottom line. And we
Yes.
shouldn't make our enemies. That we should love them and pray for them. Keeping it simple is my best thing. And I will go watch that video. I don't 66 AD, and it's on your Rumble podcast, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and on YouTube and so
I don't
basically,
YouTube, but that's okay.
yep. So basically, what it
Yep,
is that by the way, Rumble's worse than YouTube, but
that's
so and
because of YouTube is affiliated with Google. Is the reason I have a problem with that.
yeah, me too. It's
All right.
just what the problem is, Mike. You can't escape it.
No, you
Um,
can't. You're right.
they so Rumble and Truth Social is owned by Flynn's crew.
So you're saying that the stock that I bought into GJT is what, worthless?
Maybe I own a lot more than most people. A lot more.
Oh, you got stock in Oh, I don't own a lot of stock, but I have stock in DJT. I'm a little guy, I just,
But
here, there. But
I believe that it'll probably pay off, but I don't think it's of
so, what do you know about Flynn? I want to know about Flynn. Is he a good guy, a white hat or black hat?
so this all started because in December before January 6th, two guys took the main stage to create a fight with one another. For what reason is my question. So Michael Flynn and Lynn Wood.
Linwood. Oh yeah, he's another name that I put aside.
Decided, and I was a Lynn guy. So back in December of 2020, Mike Flynn picked a fight with Lynn Wood.
Yeah, the lawyer.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
I identified that Mike Flynn was lying on some things.
Oh, okay.
And so I sided with the guy who was claiming to be a new believer in Jesus, right?
Right.
And that this is even before the month before I became Christian.
Right.
So I just sensed from him that he was the right side of this, right? And then as I went deeper and deeper on Truth Social, I began to get infiltrated by people. So here's what happened, Mike, is a a person by the name of Lori who passed away, junior mint addict. Her and I met, and there was something special about our relationship and our ability to connect with one another
Right.
online. And our ability to try what I call triangulate together was immediately I identified it. And we had people who were calling her they were calling her a sage, they were calling her Merlin, and they were calling me Arthur, but they were seemingly and weirdly, they wouldn't interact with me and they would interact with her. It was almost as if they didn't feel that they were like they didn't address the king directly. You see what I'm saying?
Yep, I understand. Yep.
So her and I create a back channel on Telegram to talk to one another in perpetuity.
Okay.
And as these people are interacting with us, we're talking on the back channel and like goading them into conversation. And we are laughing on the back channel because we're just normal people. And they're like pretending that we're like
Above your status.
yes.
Yeah.
and so like this whole thing called Down the Road Past the Tree started as a way for her and I to like watch other people and talk about their weird behaviors, right? And what winds up happening is I start inviting other people into this channel who I feel have the ability to do what I call triangulate, which is when we bring in data from multiple sources, if you say something that's interesting, that sparks a thought in me, I can take it somewhere else where you can't take it. So we go back and forth. And when I tell you we figured all of this out in 5 years, we figured it out.
See, I love that. That's talent, not just from you, but the people that you're surrounding yourself with, because we all get sparks from different things.
Yes.
That's what, that's what you do to me on True Social when we're conversing back and forth. Sometimes I'm not sure why we're doing it in DM when some of it should be done for everybody to see. That if one person goes, oh, maybe I should follow this thread back, go back to where it started, because I do that shit. Huh?
They don't do it though.
But I do. I'll go and look at something. What the hell are they talking about? Well, let me follow this back. Oh, interesting.
So you want to hear something interesting? I follow those threads back.
Yeah.
And guess what I find?
What do you find?
All the people who infiltrated me and blocked me. Blocked me. So all good people who I was really good friends with blocked me. You know why?
No, I don't know why. Because you tell them the truth and they don't want to hear it?
No, they never had that intention. Nar. New Age religion.
Oh, okay.
New apostle, whatever they call it, right?
Oh.
These people who call themselves Christians but are not Christians. So here's where it all connects for you. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
1492.
Yeah, why is that number found?
And then I'm gonna go, right? So an important year, right? For what reason?
1492. I know that date. Go ahead.
You're about to be wrong even in being right. Okay. Columbus sailed the ocean blue.
Okay, yeah.
Found America, right? Okay. That's not the important thing that happened. They're hiding it because it's a 2,500-year-old ploy and they're just redeploying it. So in 1492, in the years prior to that, they kicked what they called were the Muslims out of Spain and France and pushed them back into Morocco. But guess what? They weren't Muslims. They were Moorish.
Oh, the Moors. Yeah, the same people that attacked Italy long before that. Yeah.
Guess who lived here way before 1492 in America?
Oh, I would assume. Now, wait, now get me wrong, but we had Germans and then people coming across the Bering Straits also, right?
Yeah,
Am I wrong here?
we did, but even before that, we had the Moors. They were the shipping people, and they made their way across
I
here,
did.
and that's what they're hiding from us.
I had no idea that the Moors were here. Now, where do I find that? Where do I go and get that? In?
Okay, you look up new uh what did they call California? Was called New Albia,
Really?
California. Yeah,
Okay.
so
I,
New Albion.
okay. I'll go look that up.
New Albion is
Okay.
California. That's when the Moors were there. The Moors were also in Florida. So guess what happens? Well, they do this trickery to tell us that Columbus founded America. No, he did not. And it wasn't America's. We were already here, and Cortez came, and they told us that we came to the Americas for religious freedom. No, we came here to convert the savages. Because why? The savages were believing in the real Holy Spirit, and we were going to come and we were going to bastardize them with our Catholicism, the fake Holy Spirit, and force it upon them.
Holy shit. That doesn't surprise me. You know that, right?
Cortez captured a guy by the name of so the head of the Aztecs, who he was known by his people as the Red King. He learned everything he learned from the Red God of the North. What's the red dirt god of the North?
The
Where's
red.
that? Arizona,
Oh.
Colorado.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Their god who taught them agriculture, who made their society thrive to be the strongest in the Americas, the Aztecs, their god was from America. Dude, what the heck is going on? So listen to this. Cortez captures him after a battle. He goes down, kneels down, and asks for a quick death. And Cortez says, no, you were a brave soldier and your people were brave. We're going to now partner with you. And he took him on it. I'd lost you here. Are you back? I lost you. You coming back in? All right. So here's the deal is Cortez. Quetzalcoatl. That's what we're talking about. So here's the deal, Michael. Is that there he is. And he's back.
And you were right at the end with
Yep.
Cortez, and I
So
lost you. Go ahead. No, please. Don't.
I just told everybody else. Cortez captured Quetzalcoatl, who was the king in the Americas at the time. And after he captures him, he parades him around the South America and Central America as his partner, and then he kills him 10 years later. This is the game. The game is you cannot just war and war and war. You have to war and manipulate. Every single war ends in a deal. Guess what the deal was here in America in the Revolutionary War? Guess who lost?
Well, England lost, right? That's what we all think.
Nope.
Revolutionary War against England. Is that what you're speaking of?
We did not lose that war. I mean, we did not win that war, and England did not lose that war. Guess who
Okay.
lost? Guess who lost the war? England and America won. Guess who lost?
The Moors. Or,
Well,
I mean,
the Moors lost before that, but
okay.
guess who really lost? Well, two groups of people. One, the Indians,
Or yeah.
and
Yeah.
then the other one that they're hiding from you is the Sons of Liberty. They all died.
The Sons of Liberty. And
So
the Indians. Well, the Indians never had a chance now, did they?
well, they didn't
Not against
because
modern machinations. What? Go ahead.
we had intention. That's why. The circle dance. So all this is in my videos, but so New Englanders were sent by the lords of London to go across this country to the Blackfoot Hills and hunt down the people doing the circle dance. The Blackhawks
Yeah.
were the most famous killing of them ever with one of those people that they glorified, right? But they
The
don't
Sons of Liberty.
they
I
don't
gotta get my hand around all this. Go ahead.
it's a lot. It's a lot. And that's why nobody's getting it. And that's why I'm trying to keep it so simple into do you remember when I first started with the bus?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
In
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
beginning,
Yeah.
all I would talk about is the ghost bus,
Well, okay.
right? And
Yep.
the reason being is I was just trying to keep it simple for everybody because my mind does things that other people's just can't, right? So it's not saying anything being arrogant. I have things that I don't do well, right? What I do well is compile data. You know?
Yep. And now you are you. What you have to do is first not give up. You can't give up because that's what the enemy wants you to do, right? I mean, that's what they want you to do. They want you to give up and retreat. If you there, I don't see any advantage of you just giving up and going away. You have to be persistent, and your patience is going to be tried over and over and over and over.
It's unbelievable what's
Just
going on.
look at Job, okay? And you're not in that position. He is one of my personal heroes in the Bible.
It's
Job.
amazing the story.
It is an amazing story. And God will stand there and tell you, where were you when I laid the foundation? Who are you to fucking question the way I do things around here? And that's just the period. That's an Old Testament story.
You know
And
what
it's a
else?
story that we all should carry inside of us.
You know what else is telling
What's
in
that?
this whole thing is Lot.
Wow. Oh, yeah.
What happened when he left his daughters
Laid with him.
defiled him?
Yes, they did. They laid with their father. But why did they lay with their father? What was their reasoning behind it?
Witchcraft.
I think now, and that could be possible, but I think that they were deceived. In the Bible, from what I've read, and this is no attack because women are very strong, but they are the weaker vessel.
Yeah.
Satan didn't come to Adam, he came to Eve.
Yeah.
In the beginning.
Manipulate. To manipulate.
Oh, yeah. He's the one that said, you could be a god too. And somehow that triggered.
You know what? You can't pull on a man's heartstrings. What you can pull on is his sex strings.
Oh, that is exactly right.
You know what I mean?
Visual.
So you got to use the woman.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Because and this is all done. The word has always been there. The design has always been there for his purpose, not for ours.
Yep. I'm going to tell you one more thing, and then we're going to go for today.
All right,
is
buddy.
that because it's really important to what's going on Truth Social that everyone isn't getting. Everybody gets mad at me for pointing out a person and their actions,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Because that person seems to be one of us and seems to be a strong one of us.
Right.
I wind up getting the short end of the stick every time I do it. But the reason being is because I am able to see a data set that other people don't have the ability to see. And so when I'm pointing this out, I am gathering up a data set on a person, and I'm not just like this conversation I had with you. Quite honestly, if I'm being really honest, I was data setting you to make sure that you weren't a part of the system, because the system has been outright coming in not only in this ethereal world of the internet, but coming in real life and actually sitting down at a bar next to me to try and find out more information. I mean, this group of people that are doing this are in control of so many souls that are doing things that are against us, directly against us. I caught 3 husband and wife teams, which is funny that it always had a wife included. 3 husband and wife teams infiltrated my group and all 3 tried to get us to become New Agers, in the sense that they all claimed Christ except for one of them. And they all were also mystics and trying to get us to do an oil rise, trying to get us to do you know what the Christ oil rise is?
No.
Yeah, you don't. These people think that if you can raise your love and chakras,
Oh, go ahead. Go
yep,
ahead.
they're the
See, I
same.
laugh at that bullshit.
They're the same people.
Okay, wait.
They're
Yeah,
the
and I
hippies
ignore them. I see them all the time. They're everywhere.
everywhere,
Okay.
but
The
they
system
claim
is
Christ.
ignoring me. Let me ask you something, Mark. The
Yep,
system is ignoring me. You haven't ignored me.
yep,
And you checked, you did your system data points. Something is drawing us together. Why
correct.
is the system ignoring me? You see the shit I put out there, all the stuff, whether it's
I know.
love, bullshit, me being who I am. Why is the system ignoring me? Because not everybody's ignoring me, and they're getting my posts. I see them. I'm getting them reposted a lot. Go ahead.
You
And
know
I'm
what?
being vain right now. I'll tell you the truth. I want to know why, because I think it's a good.
I'll
Why are you
I'll tell
ignoring
you why
me?
it's for
Okay.
you. For
Okay.
you, it's because you are connecting with the Holy Spirit. Because I'll give you the example of who it's who is the complete exact opposite of you as far as the results. However, they post much like you, a lot like you. And it's why I question you.
Okay.
And it's because do you know an account by the name of Rat Dog?
Yeah, I've seen Rat Dog on there.
Okay.
I don't follow him. I don't believe I do, but
It,
I've
it's a,
seen his
it's a
posts.
it's a woman,
Oh, it
but
is? Okay.
yep, but she runs around with a group of people, right? And she posts a lot of scripture and a lot of encouraging stuff, a lot of dogs, a lot of regurgitation of whatever the red checks are doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that in itself would be fine, right? But I caught them. That's what makes it not fine.
What's it? What you caught him at? I mean, I want to know. I'm not
Yep.
afraid to be caught. Catch me here. I'm giving you my
Yeah.
open life, man.
No,
You
I
know
know.
my company.
I know.
You know I show
I
my business. I don't
I
hide
know.
shit.
I listen, I could tell, right? But here's the thing is that so she's one of her people is Kelly something or other, and they are extremely popular in the timeline. If you go into the For You or you go into the other one, they're all over it, right?
Okay.
They post, and within 12 hours they have 300 likes on some nonsense, right?
Okay.
Okay. Nonsense.
Okay.
These are people I started here with on Truth Social.
Oh, okay.
And guess what they did?
I'm listening, brother.
They colluded with one of those couples that I'm talking about, who winds up are from Canada, and they're working with, guess who at the top? Roger Stone,
Really?
Michael Flynn, all of them. I caught them all. They're all colluding, working together, but not showing everybody what they're doing.
Now, where should I? Okay. See, you brought up two people. One I've stopped following. One I'm still kind of following.
Which is who?
Lynn Wood.
Yeah.
I stopped following him.
Yeah.
Michael Flynn.
Yeah.
For some reason, I'm still attached to the things that he is saying or what he's putting out there.
So
So, am I
remember
getting
this:
fooled? I mean,
95% of what everybody puts out is good information. It's the 5% that you got to worry about, right?
okay.
Because it's the only way they can fool us, is because you can be wrong every once in a while, right? And that
Right.
5% will cover it. But
Right.
if you start going over 20% of the time you're lying, everybody's
Bullshit.
gonna know.
Yeah.
Right? So here's my question about Flynn at this point. With everything I caught around him, the only possible way he is not a bad dude is if he set them all up.
See, I got the movie that Flynn put out, and I've watched it too. So I watched this stuff. It doesn't mean I buy everything. I was there for 2,000 Mules. I was there in the audience online watching 2,000 Mules. A lot of that I bought. So,
Yeah. I mean, I bought it at the time too, right?
right?
But they're full of shit. You know that.
It's all
So
manipulation, is
you
what you're saying.
you want to hear some? I mean, I touched this a million ways to Sunday in my personal life. God did it. God did it, Mike. So listen to this. My close friend owns a couple of businesses. One of them is a marketing business here in the tri-state area. In 2017, 18,
Okay.
a guy and two girls show up at their office looking for help marketing. They claim to be the digital, not the digital underground, the Underground Railroad,
Okay. Yeah, I'm
right?
aware of them. Yeah.
That was the name they went under. And it was Carlos Slim,
Okay.
who was going to fund $1 million thing. And I don't want to say what it was because it's really distinct. Like, I don't want to getting back to the person, right?
Okay. All right.
Because you couldn't make it up what it was about, what the nonsensical $1 million spend would be, right? And why you would do it. But they did it in the name of the Underground Railroad, which is who?
Oh. Who is the Underground Railroad?
It's the Angel Studios. What's his?
No, Angel
Yes.
Studios is Underground Railroad.
Is what's yes?
You know, I know who Angel Studios are. They put out some good stuff.
Yeah, they got famous off of all this. They ain't catching no children. Where's the video of what's his name catching any saving any children? Stop it. Then guess what happens, Mike? The girl,
Wow, you're blowing my mind
the
now.
girl who was in my friend's office,
Right?
one of the two girls is one of the girls that came out accusing him of inappropriate sexual behavior on set. What? How is that possible?
It's the movie that I'm thinking about
Yes. The
yeah, that my
first
wife could
the,
hardly watch.
the
Huh?
first the first movie that we all
Yeah,
love. It's
yeah.
fake. It's fake. It's real, but the people who did it are lying.
Wow. You gotta. Hey, do you have this kind of meeting on Rumble where we can all just participate? I
I
know you
mean,
have a lot of followers. They don't participate, or you just have a lot of disruptors or followers that are just watching what you're putting out there.
I don't think I don't think I'm available to them.
What
I
the
think
fuck is you got 21,000 freaking followers
it
on
make
True Social,
it
huh?
makes no sense that you get more likes than me. Correct?
Well, that wouldn't make any more sense. No, I don't understand it unless you're being purposely suppressed.
Exactly. By our people, by our side, Mike.
So Devin Nunes and his 28 crew over there purposely suppressing certain people on their site.
Look at his wine. Look at the symbolism on his wine. He is Knights of Malta.
See, and that's some symbolism I haven't gone into that I purpose. You know, I think God keeps shields on my eyes for certain reasons, for certain subjects. He wants, I think I put it this way. I have my post and I will stay at my post as long as God wants me to stay at this post. Does that make sense? We all
Yeah,
have our positions.
I get it. But you know what? That is my 1776 and Illuminati deception. And this thing with the Sons of Liberty,
Yeah.
what I found makes it absolutely undeniable is that we are a country that is based upon a lie of Freemasons.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go watch that. Am I allowed to pull that down and put parts of it on True Social? I'm asking permission right
Yeah,
now.
yeah. Just screen record it.
Yeah, oh, I will. I know how to do that, so I'm very
So
good at it.
so listen to this, and
But I
I'll
want your permission to be
ab-
able to read.
absolutely. I love that. So to make that short, right?
Yep.
Here's what I found in my neighborhood. It's so crazy. So I went out and I physically did research by going to the cemeteries and triangulating the people and then researching them. Got it?
Yep. I'm with you.
And their symbolisms on their gravestones and in their eulogies and all of that. They tell it all. They're ego driven. They're they're so full of shit.
Yeah.
It's
Thank you.
unbelievable. Okay?
Yep.
All of them. It doesn't matter who. I mean, I loved George Washington, and there are some things that are to be admirable, but it's a complete lie. It is a complete lie. He is a moon child who was born to become our president, our first president, just like every other one. And the I know it's upsetting to hear, right? But once we break it all, we're free. We're free. We don't have any idol left once we break them all because they're all liars. And here's how. Ready? So get ready for this. So the Sons of Liberty were operating all up the eastern seaboard in hiding, not as a army, but as a militia, right?
Okay.
They were combining their monies and their businesses and abilities in order to subvertly fight England from the stamp tax, right? That was the
Okay.
big last push that was getting everybody crazy. That was on purpose by the royalty. They wanted the strife over here for what were 14 different sects of people all willing to fight one another for their piece of the action, right? And for their royal. Okay? So Sons of Liberty were actually fighting for what we were supposed to be fighting for. However, they were ruthless too. They were plucking loyalists and killing them, plucking them out of their homes here in New Jersey and killing them. And the loyalists were doing it back. They were hiring Hessians as mercenaries to do so.
Wow.
Okay? So here's what happens. A local bar owner, her husband, who was a what do you call that? So basically, he moved goods through the area from the waterways in the area, and so hence they also called him a pirate, because during those years he would pirate from those other ships, right?
Okay. Yep.
Well, they were the ones who funded the Boston Tea Party, them going and grabbing all the weapons from the depot to go and fight up in New England. That was all them, right? Gathering together their monies and resources to do so. Well, Joshua Huddy, this guy, wound up getting mercenaries, a black soldier mercenary, brought his black crew and grabbed him from Colt's Neck from his home. When they grabbed him, they handed him off to the loyalists, who held the ground on Sandy Hook, which is the little island that jets out and protects the New York harbor, right?
All right.
They took him out there, tried him, and hung him on the spot. Well, what happens? Sons of Liberty go absolutely insane, demand an answer, because Washington a year ago had cut the deal that made peace, right? So think of the art of the deal, right?
Yep. All right.
Washington cut the deal so everyone could be at peace and nobody was supposed to be killing one another. And suddenly the loyalists jump from Staten Island, hire a black mercenary from Freehold to go and capture him, trick him and capture him, bring him there, hang him under an illegal trial. They demand an answer. So Washington spends a year going up to the Continental Congress up in New England and trying to resolve the issue. He's like, guys, I got my greatest warriors here, the mercenaries, who are going to want my ass if we don't give them somebody here, right? Avenge this death. You got to do something. Eventually, after a year, he convinces them. The Freemasons go to a lodge in Bergen County from the loyalist side, and they pull straws, and the lowest straw among them goes to jail in Staten Island, right? In loyalist territory.
Yeah.
Guess what happens?
Tell me what happens.
The Sons of Liberty of Monmouth County cross the river into Staten Island, grab him out of the jail, bring him back, and shoot him dead. And now that guy wasn't even the real perpetrator of the thing. It was Lord, I forget what his name was, one of the lords in Britain. And so what winds up happening is over the course of the next 10 years, all of those people in this area that were with him all died. None of them got the glory. None of them. All died in one way or another through all the wars and everything. Somehow they found their way to death. And who winds up pretty off the whole thing? George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Samuel John Adams.
All those men.
All of them. And then guess what happens in 1826? Oh, so wait, I'll just say that one thing that happened back then was called the Asgill affair, it was like 9/11 to them. It was the number one thing the world was talking about. The Asgill affair was about Joshua Huddy, but none of you know it. I'm the only one that knows it. And meanwhile, they have a whole there's a park for him down here, but nobody knows it.
Now, of course, you've got memoirs, and you're writing this all down to be published, are you not? I mean,
I am probably gonna do a book one day,
you
but
you have to. You have so much stuff, and you're going to have a lot of freaking footnotes in that book, so people can pick up on the references and go and research that. You do realize that, right?
I know
It's
it's
a
such
monumental task, and
it's
God has put this on you.
it's awful. I recorded everything, Mike. I've got 5 years of research recorded.
Yeah, you're going to need help getting all this freaking stuff organized. And your wife, I'm assuming, is one of your best back support on this. I mean,
Well, she is, there came a moment when all this was going on where it seemed dangerous, where she was at her wit's end. And she actually came to the same place as me, is that they're more afraid of me than I am of them.
yeah, there is nothing to fear.
No. Look at how it cut out. Funny time for it to cut out.
Happening. I don't know
Yeah.
what the
It,
reasoning
it
is,
keeps
but
happening at an interesting moment. That's the second time it happened at a really interesting moment.
yeah, and it's not anything I'm doing. It's just going blank. I mean, I still got 38% battery left on my.
Yeah.
my
Well, we're on now, what, an hour and a half. Let's cut it for the day. And I mean,
Can we
it
do
was
this again, or
absolutely, it was a great talk. And the only thing I'm going to clear out of this, otherwise I'll put it up and I'll send this to you,
yeah?
is I started saying my last name in it, and I'm just going to get
No,
that part
don't do
out
it.
of it.
No, yeah, keep that out of it. No, I don't need that. What I
Yeah.
need is a connection with you so we can talk. I'm one of your General Joes, out here. Joe Schlob that happens to own a business and has no fear of anything. And I
Yeah.
have everything backed up. So
Well,
my son is ready. He doesn't partake in any of this.
you have
So
every right to, because you're out here preaching the word is what your main portion is, and that's what the goal is, really. But my way of getting there is to get people to understand that we actually do have it all. We nobody wants to hear that George Washington was contrived. He was fake.
see, all of that. See, I'm fake. I believe I put you don't know the evil that lurks in my heart.
Well,
Right? I mean, and the only thing you know
exactly.
about me is the blood of my Lord and Savior, which I proclaim in front of all men. I'm nothing without him. And that is the bottom line.
Well, that's awesome. And we've all done things that we're not proud of, right?
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
that's what the crazy part is. So now that George Washington was an illuminated person who did not believe in Christ, he believed in providence.
Oh, I didn't realize that. He wasn't a Christian man.
He was not a Christian man. He was
And
a
if I understand right, Jefferson Adams is one of
yeah,
the founding fathers
yeah.
studied Muslim. He wasn't so much a Muslim, but he understood the Quran and he
Uh,
read the Quran. What
you know
was
what I was about to tell you?
what's that?
So I believe what has happened, and I could explain exactly how I come to this belief in something really quick, is that I believe that Thomas Jefferson and John Adams
Yeah.
both realized the mistake they made at the end of their lives and tried to reverse it, but it was too late. They had done the damage already. So they were Freemasons as well. And on in 1826, They both died on July 4th.
Wow. I
Pretty
did
much a
not know.
coincidence, right?
And they serve God's purpose, whatever that
Right.
purpose is.
Well,
The
guess what
second
that
coming
purpose
of Christ.
was?
Yeah. See,
Guess
we
what?
all serve his purpose in the end. Doesn't matter.
Guess what?
What's that?
Their last words,
Oh,
despite being 1,200 miles away from each other on horseback, right?
okay.
Guess what their last words were?
What's that?
About each other. Both of them. What? Guess what John Adams said about Thomas Jefferson, and guess who was president at the time?
Go ahead. I'm not guessing. I'm going to let you throw it out there.
John Quincy Adams, his son was the president, got the presidency after some controversy, and John Adams, the last words before he died were, but Thomas Jefferson lives. In other words, I cut a deal for Thomas Jefferson's life. However, what he didn't know was that 1,200 miles away, Thomas Jefferson had died 8 hours earlier because they were killed ritually on July 4th.
And what did now? I missed what you said that Thomas Jefferson said about Adams.
Yeah, so his was more just asking about him, I believe.
Oh,
So it wasn't so specific as to telling what had happened. However, here's the key to the whole entire thing. 1826 and the Morgan affair. That was the next Asgill affair. The Morgan affair, a guy by the name of William Morgan had joined the Freemasons, and they had slighted him. And so he wrote a book outing them. And the Freemasons went nuts and kidnapped him from Batavia, New York, and then took him up to Canada and killed him.
Morgan.
Yeah. And here's the thing, is that the next 50 years was all determined from that moment. Do you know that was the year that we changed? So remember, the Civil War is going on, right?
Okay. Yep. 1860. Yep.
The right after that, right? But what happened was that there were Federalists and Anti-Federalists. Those were the two parties. Guess what happened? The Federalists became the Whigs. The Whigs.
Yep.
Well, think about it. Whigs.
Oh, yeah, the Whigs. I'm familiar with them.
Right?
Yep.
They became the Republicans. So they were actually, if you think about it, the Democrats became the Whigs, became the Republicans. Think about it. Federalists, people who believe in federal oversight, became who didn't believe in slavery, became the Republicans. We just don't think enough to trace it. This is crazy.
Yeah, you need to keep getting your message out there, Mark. That's all I can say, and I'll support you. I
appreciate
I
it,
don't
Mike.
always understand, and I need to be more clear on that. Sometimes I misunderstand, and I will apologize. And now you know where I'm coming from. And just, oh, Mike didn't get this sunk. I may be a little thick-headed than you. You know, it just takes a little time, but it'll get in there.
Listen, I appreciate it, because I mean, I don't understand, because I know that there are real people watching me.
Yep.
I just don't understand why there's so many of the other people.
Why there's so many of the other people? Finish that statement. Yeah.
Meaning infiltrators watching me, and like organizing
it's
around
fear, Mark. It has to be fear.
Yeah, but
They're
don't they?
keeping an eye on you and making sure that you're not stepping out of any guidelines or become making waves because they're busy putting out fires everywhere. Are they not? That's all they're doing is putting out fires and distracting.
Yeah, but if we get everyone, Democrats and Republicans, to understand that George Washington sold them out for the deal, then what are we left with? You know what I'm saying? We're left to start anew
Well,
together.
there is and you probably know this word when you start sympathizing with your captures. There's an effect that happens. You start sympathizing with the people that are holding you hostage. What is that term? It happened not too long ago, where a bunch of them were captured and held for a long period of time, and it's called that name, and I can't remember what it is right now.
Mutiny on the Bounty. You know
No,
what's
no, no.
funny is that movie plays into this whole thing in ways you have no idea.
Oh, I
No,
love that movie, and that
no,
book is a good book. So,
unbelievable. But the story itself
yes.
is one that, if you really dig into it, what really happened, it's crazy. Do you know who the guess who the main character in that story is?
Well, there's two main characters.
Yeah,
There's
what's his name?
Bly and
Yeah,
Kristen. Yeah,
yeah. But
yeah.
guess who the only survivor is?
Oh, I forget. Go ahead.
You're not going to freaking believe it. It ties into what we were just talking about. John Adams.
Oh, really?
They
No, I
say
didn't.
they say it's a different person, but go look at it. I think it might be the same freaking person.
Yeah, I had to go and redig. That's been a while since I've read that book.
So listen to me. They the people who mutinized on the ship, they went to the Polynesian island. The Polynesians wound up killing them, and the other boat went to go and pick them up and bring them back to jail, but he was the only one alive. What is going on?
That's a good question. And it was the Munich effect. I do believe that's what I was.
Munich effect?
Yeah,
Yeah.
where the captures, the people that were held hostage started
Oh,
sympathizing.
yeah, 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 because of the
It was a
the
political.
Olympics.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And there was a whole term cause of that where they were all sympathizing with their captures, and it's like that's what we're doing here in America, man.
Not, not
We want to hold
surprisingly,
on
they
to our beliefs.
not surprisingly they did that in Bavaria, Mike, the home
Oh,
of the Illuminati. That's where it is.
so what you're doing, and that's the problem, Mark, is you're attacking their long-held beliefs, and some of these people have believed this stuff for 60, 70, 80 years. Is what they're taught. What they taught where we're taught in school,
Look
right?
at look it up on your thing. You have Napoleon Boulevard on your. That is so funny.
Oh yeah, yeah. My daughter got that for me, so that's my last name. Like I said, and I finally
That
got all that documentation where he came through on Ellis Island and everything. So
that's not by chance. You know you're a family member.
his last name was Bonaparte,
I know it doesn't matter.
but he had a lot of bastardized children, and yes, I've
Yes.
already, and he had siblings too. So
So there's an important book for you to read, and it's really small. I should send it to you. It's called I think it's called The Story of Daniel Paysor
okay,
family.
all right.
So the story is, and I'll make it really brief because I really do got to go. It's
You
Father's
really
Day,
do, and I should
you
let you
know.
hang up, but I'm
So
not letting you. So go ahead.
so what it is that when Napoleon took the France from King Louis
Yep,
and Marie Antoinette,
yep.
they had a child, and the child was named Louis, and he had uh, he didn't have something wrong with him when the revolution happened and they knew that they were going to be overtaken. They took Louis's cousin, and they switched them, the kids. They were like 5 years difference in age, but they switched them anyway,
Okay.
right? So the cousin winds up getting captured and killed, and Louis, the actual Louis,
Right.
Marie Antoinette's son, who was a witch, right,
Yep.
was shipped to England to Louis's sister, who was the British king's wife, the queen, was the French. So they're fighting a war over us. The French are supplying the rebels with the weapons to fight the cousin of your wife. Get out of here. This is crazy talk.
Yeah. Yeah. Send me the title of that book. I'll read it.
Right? So, but here's what's worse about that. The Pacers are the real family that are controlling everything. America, everything. Louisiana, everything you see with Dauphin, Dauphin, Dauphin,
Okay.
anything with Dolphin, anything with Paysor, all that stuff. It's all a part of the Paysor family, and they also became the some of the big name families that big money in the country.
Rothschild, or even you're talking
No,
about
lower than that, like the DuPonts.
the DuPont. Yes, I know that story
the-
behind them as
they're
well.
they're Paysor. So
Oh.
they're French, French royal bloodlines. And so what they did was they hid him in order to let the bloodline continue. And that's what's going on here. It's crazy. It's crazy. I know it sounds ridiculous, but if you read the book, it's very small. You'll see why. Let me see if I have it, and then I'll take off. Hold on one second.
All right. I like your coat of arms, by the way. I'll have to send you mine. Ooh. All right. Send that to me. I can't hear you, but I can see the picture and I'll screen capture it. Oh, there we go.
So it's the Book of Daniel. It's by Stephen Paysor, one of the
Okay.
he's bloodline, and
Yeah.
so he was figuring it out for himself, and he made a book, and it's only
So what he jumped family lines? I mean, he jumped, but he jumped. Oh wow!
it's only 97 pages. It's
Ooh.
really short. It's good.
All right. Let
Yep.
you. Hey, you need to go eat breakfast.
Yeah,
Your
I
wife
do.
has it ready. I ate mine while I was talking to you, but she
I,
brought it to me. So.
I'm letting the kids wake up because guess what they're making me?
Well, oh yeah, it's Father's Day. That's
They're,
right. What are they
they're
making you?
they're making me a Jewish breakfast. They're making me challah French toast.
That's
Have
Jewish?
Have you ever had challah French toast?
No. Oh, challah. Okay.
Yeah.
No.
So
No. What's the difference?
it's like thick bread.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a thick bread French toast. It's delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what do you put on top of it?
Regular. It's French toast, but it's made with a different kind of bread.
I stopped eating that syrup, corn syrup they put in the store as pancake syrup. I put like honey from our local.
That's better
Yeah.
because although honey's expensive too,
Ooh,
I
yeah.
I only do maple syrup,
Oh, maple syrup would be another natural source. Yep. I
but
would do that.
but it's expensive, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Everything's expensive, but it's just money. What are you going to do? Take it with you?
That's it. No.
So I gave
All
my
right.
son my legacy and my daughter my legacy, and they have
Yep.
that. They
Yeah,
ain't
that's
getting
right.
no money.
He's in your business, right?
Oh, yeah. He's the one coming along. I'm grooming him. I got a 4-year plan left, and I'm done.
Oh, guess what? Guess what I did in since we last spoke about business, you and I.
What's that?
My son was working for me, and
Yeah.
I got him a job at a competitor's, and it's awesome. It's awesome.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, so he's pulling it all in.
He's learning and making money from another guy, and then he'll come back here and run this business.
That's yeah. So my son did the same thing. We both worked together at another company.
Uh-huh.
So and he did a different thing than I did. I was the GM and the head lead
And
tech.
I'm gonna stop recording. So
All right, yeah, that's
uh
fine.
yeah.
Go be with them